have not made the case that either of those articles of impeachment are true. And therefore, they have not made the case for removing Trump from office, even if there was a chance for it. They haven't made the case. That's why they want more witnesses, and they want to link the time, because this is about something in addition to doing great damage to Trump. But the bottom line, that they don't have any evidence. They have no impeachable offenses. But the point is, you would think the Democrats would be totally unified. They hate Trump so much you think that alone would unify them. And yet, they're split wide open down the presidential primary. They're split wide open on this impeachment business. But you would think, wouldn't you, with the abject hatred they have for Trump and the desire to overturn the election results of 2016, that there would be massive unity on the Democrat side. And there isn't. They're not even close. Quick timeout. We'll get back to your phone calls right after this, so don't go anywhere. Having more fun than a human being should be allowed to have, and that's because I am doing what I was born to do. Great to have you with us. Wrapping up another busy broadcast week. Here is Jim in San Francisco. Great to have you, sir. Thank you for waving. Hi.
Hey, Rush. Adam Schiff needs to be taken down. This trial cannot close until this man has been exposed. He needs to be eviscerated. He needs to be humiliated. He needs to be shamed. He needs to give the citizens of Burbank every single reason to vote him out of office. Now, I agree with your analysis that probably Nadler blew it with Republicans and there's no chance of witnesses. However, Rush, the rules state there's 24 hours of uninterrupted talk by the Democrats, and then it's going to be followed by 24 hours starting on Saturday by the Republicans. And so far, John Roberts has acted like basically a chess timekeeper. He just sits up there. And the rules actually, McConnell made him basically only a figurehead, that he can't make any decisions of substance. Following the Republicans' 24 hours, we then have 16 hours, 16 long hours. Think about it. That's 2 full days of questions and answers. And you don't just get to stand up and ask a question. You have to write it out on a 3x5 card. You have to hand it to John Roberts. He reads it from the bench, and then somebody on the other side, presumably the House managers, answers. Well, Adam Schiff is in the well. We don't need to subpoena Adam Schiff. He's right there. I think that what needs to happen is we need to expose him with our questions. I want to see him exposed more than Hunter Biden or more than Joe Biden or anybody else. Rush, Adam Schiff is the singular most depraved, cynically awful politician that I've seen in my lifetime, and I've seen a lot of them in my 61 years. But he needs to be taken down. Now, let me ask you this. How is John Roberts going to control this? Because right now there's no rules. He sits like a bump on the log. You ask a question, a Democrat gets up and gives a 2-hour wandering reply that has what's John Roberts going to do? Is he going to go through these 3x5 cards, decide which ones are relevant, which ones are not? How is he going to control an uncooperative answer? What's the rules on this? It could get out of control really quick.
Well, I think that's first. Let me endorse your statements on Schiff, and I have said much the same thing. In fact, I have here some audio sound bites. A clip of mine from earlier this week about this very thing was used by some cable news networks to highlight and to get other people's reactions to my opinions of Schiff, which parallel yours. I think the guy's despicable. I think it's so bad. There needs some kind of penalty needs to occur to this guy. Some kind of comeuppance or punishment. I don't know how. As to your questions about procedure here in the Senate when we get the Q&A, 16 hours. I think, and I'm going to have to. Can you hold on just a couple of minutes during the break? Because because I failed to conclude or close the loop when I was explaining earlier what I think Nadler and is really going on. So hang on for that. Hey, welcome back. Open Line Friday. Rush Limbaugh executing his side host duties flawlessly. We're back here with Jim in San Francisco. Look, I want before I get to closing my loop here with you, I just want to substantiate what you're saying. I think if we ever do get to this Q&A period, and I have my doubts that we will, but I think that is the way Adam Schiff should be set up and situated so that he lies under oath.
Well, Rush, right now, and you've got the ear of politicians and senators that listen to you, so this is the word going out that we need to make sure that they're going to establish these rules. They're going to probably start working on them over the weekend. John Roberts, we need to control him, and the Democrats are going to work and try to construct rules that are going to ban Republicans from asking questions.
Wait a second. Wait. How do we control John Roberts? Mitch McConnell runs the Senate. The Chief Justice does not run the Senate. You've already stated he's acting as a figurehead in there. He's a chess timekeeper is all he's done so far.
That's right.
And by the way, it was Nadler's comment, by the way, that forced him to admonish both sides. Democrat comments that have made him admonish both sides.
That's right, but basically, up until now, up until these question and answers, he plays a passive role. But when it gets into questions and answers, for instance, if somebody gives, you ask a question, and then a Democrat, gives a 2-hour filibustering response, how is that controlled? If John Roberts
wait a minute. There's no look. That's the future, and I don't know how to control that or deal with it. All I can tell you is what you're describing is happening now. They're already filibustering with this case. The thing that irritates me as much as anything about this is that whoever's running the Senate has let the Democrat Party convert the Senate into the DNC. That's all this is. These people are making points that are way beyond the articles of impeachment. They're talking about things that have nothing to do with what's in their case. They're all over the board, and they're repeating it over and over and over again. This is nothing more than a never-ending campaign ad on TV under the imprimatur of impeachment in the United States Senate. And the Senate is sitting there and letting these buffoons in the House basically convert the chamber into essentially the Democrat National Committee. It's almost like they've been suckered. So then you have to ask, okay, they have to know this, so why are they permitting it? And maybe they think the Democrats are drilling nails in their own coffins by doing this. The ratings are plummeting each and every day, I have to tell you. That is incontrovertible, and it's distressing. The media talking, well, it's a shame because this should be watched by millions of people. This is more important than just an average television show. But they can't create any interest. I have thought all along this thing should have been dismissed the first chance they had. Dismiss it, close it down, but the objection, well, Rush, that would make the Republicans look unfair. Screw this! I'm sick and tired of the premise being that the Republicans are the ones that are unfair, that the Republicans are the ones that have to go out of the way to prove that they're nice guys. Screw that! We're so far beyond that, the Democrats have made it known to everybody what a bunch of skunks they are. The Democrats ought to be the ones worried today about being perceived as nice guys. They're so over the top here and have been for 3 years and counting. And the idea that they're the ones that appear reasonable and they're the ones that appear as though they've got their act together and the Republicans got to go overboard and the other way, making sure nobody realizes, nobody confuses the Republicans for racist, sexist, bacon, home, for all that usual cliched tripe. Well, I think it's a joke what these people are doing. There's no truth coming out of these people's mouths on the Democrat manager's side. And by the way, the news is that hardly anybody in the Senate's listening. They don't have their phones in there, but they're a whole lot of people are not really paying attention. Let me close the loop on the Nadler business. When Nadler came out and accused Republicans who would not vote for more witnesses of being part of the White House cover-up, that's when Susan Collins got all upset. That's when Lisa Murkowski got all upset and sent a note to John Roberts. This is not true, and I can't believe we have to put up with this. And yet Nadler said it. I think this is a play. This entire charade here is a play to solidify the far left base of the Democrat Party. In Nadler's case, I think he's trying to maybe ward off a primary challenge that's been put up by Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. There's all kinds of stuff that may explain this. But here, as I speak, I keep coming up with more things I want to say about it. So let me cut to the chase. I think, I'm just going to go out on a limb, I think by this time next week, this is all going to be over. Because by this time next week, there will be 1 weekend left for these senators in this trial running for the Democrat nomination to go out to Iowa and campaign for a weekend before the Hawkeye Caucus. I can't believe that the Democrats in the House are actually going to preside over this thing to the point that these Democrats running for the presidency in the Senate don't get to go out and campaign. Now, I know some of you are, well, of course they would, Rush, if they want Michelle Obama. Of course they would if they want Doomberg. Of course they would if they want somebody. You've got crazy Bernie who can't leave and campaign. You've got Pocahontas who can't leave and campaign. You've got Klobuchar who can't leave and campaign. Is Cory Booker still a factor? Whatever. If he is, he can't leave and campaign. There's a bunch of them in there that can't. But the road's wide open for Biden. And now crazy Bernie is making inroads and he's locked there in the Senate and can't leave and campaign. You think the Democrats in the House are going to want to ultimately get the blame for other Democrats seeking the presidency being frozen out of the presidential campaign by having this thing go on and on and on? Now, there's another side to this. And the other side is that that's exactly what they want. That they want the opportunity to call witnesses because that's court fight for months, and that means this process goes on all year. And there's a screwel of thought that says this is what the Democrats want. They want a never-ending circus called a trial in the Senate that goes on all year because of the chaos it causes. There's also, just basic political facts. The Democrats do not want Trump to be able to make a Supreme Court nomination this year. Should opening occur. And then further down the road, the Democrats want to make sure that Trump never gets another judicial nomination. How could that be? By the Democrats winning the Senate. Now, how could they do that with this? Well, they have these 4 Republican senators that are said to be in very iffy re-election efforts, and these House managers could really put them in a tight squeeze here, depending on how they play it. All of these things are in the mix, but we're making a mistake. I'm not, but a lot of people are making a time-honored, never-ending mistake. And that mistake is assuming that the Democrats never screw up, that the Democrats are brilliant, and that they are forward thinkers, and their strategy is 4 or 5 moves ahead of ours, and that we're always playing catch-up, and that we're always on defense, and they know exactly what they're doing. It's exactly what they want to happen, and they're going to end up getting rid of Trump. And, folks, they are not that way. They are split. They are not unified. The very fact that Adam Schiff has become the face of this party is perhaps one of the worst things that could have happened to it, if they want to broaden this party beyond the fringe lunatic base that it has now. We'll take a brief time out because time is racing, as it always does. Fastest 3 hours in media. Back to the phones after this. Back to the phones we go on Open Line Friday. This is Donna in Vineland, New Jersey. Welcome. It's great to have you. Hi.
Hello, Rush. I'm calling because President Trump is coming to New Jersey. And New Jersey, I think, is going to turn from a blue state to a red state. The venue he's going to be at holds the capacity of 7,500 seats. There's a request has been up to 100,000 seats, tickets, that want to see him.
It's next Tuesday, right?
I'm sorry?
Next Tuesday he's due there. Is that right?
Yes. Yeah. And a lot of it is because Jeff Van Drew, turned from Democrats to Republicans.
That's quite a statement. Convert New Jersey from blue to red. You basing that just on the fact that 100,000 people want to get into this rally?
The traffic is backed up right now. He's due there Tuesday. It's already backed up on the roads to Wildwood. People are already going to get hotel seats, hotel rooms. and it's insane. They're starting